Welcome everyone. Today we're looking at the role of leadership in shaping culture. In this lesson, we'll explore how leaders influence the values, behaviors, and expectations that define an organization's everyday environment. Organizational culture is the shared system of values, beliefs, and behaviors that shapes how work gets done. It's basically the unwritten rulebook of a company, the norms, expectations, and habits people follow every day. There are three main parts to culture: shared values, which guide what the organization stands for; beliefs and assumptions, which shape what people think is acceptable; and behaviors and norms, which are the visible actions people repeat in the workplace. Leaders shape culture in three powerful ways. First, they set a clear vision that defines direction and values. Second, they role model the behaviors they expect from others. And third, they reinforce the right behaviors through recognition, feedback, and accountability. The important thing to remember is that culture is not built by accident. It is shaped every day by the choices leaders make, the standards they uphold, and the example they set. Certain leadership behaviors have a direct effect on organizational culture. Communication is one of the most important, because the way leaders speak sets the tone for openness and trust. Decision-making also matters. When decisions are inclusive and transparent, they reinforce cultural values. Recognition helps people feel valued and encourages positive behavior. And accountability ensures that standards stay high and responsibility is taken seriously. Values are the foundation of a strong organizational culture. But values only matter when they are defined clearly, embedded into systems, and lived consistently by leaders. First, organizations need to define their core values so everyone knows what they stand for. Next, those values should be embedded into processes like hiring, performance reviews, and daily workflows. Finally, leaders need to live those values every day so the culture becomes real and visible to everyone. Leaders play a critical role in creating trust and psychological safety. When people feel safe, they are more willing to speak up, take risks, and be honest. There are 4 key practices here: model vulnerability by admitting mistakes, encourage speaking up by welcoming different opinions, respond without blame so people focus on learning, and build consistent trust through fairness, follow-through, and respect. These behaviors help create a culture where people can thrive. This case study shows the difference between a strong and weak culture. In a strong culture, there is high alignment, low turnover, and strong engagement. People understand the values and act like brand ambassadors. In a weak culture, morale is low, turnover is high, and communication breaks down. Conflicting values create disengagement and reduce performance. This shows that leadership clarity, consistency of values, and psychological safety are key to building a strong culture. When organizations go through change, leaders are central to guiding the culture through that process. The first step is to communicate the why. People need to understand the purpose behind the change. Second, leaders must model the new behaviors themselves, because people follow what they see. Third, it's important to celebrate progress and recognize those who embrace the change. This reinforces the shift and helps new behaviors become part of the culture. Now take a moment to reflect on your own leadership style. Think about how your actions, decisions, and communication influence the culture of your team. Consider this question: how does your leadership style shape your team's culture? And what one behavior could you change or strengthen to have a more positive impact going forward? To summarize, leaders are culture architects. They shape the values and environment of the organization. Their behaviors speak louder than words, because actions define culture more than policies ever will. Trust is also essential. Psychological safety allows teams to perform, grow, and contribute honestly. Overall, the strongest cultures are built through clear leadership, consistent behavior, and a commitment to trust and values.